All right, so welcome to this quick tour of our dashboard so you understand where everything lives and what each feature does. So we start from the home screen where you have this onboarding section that we recommend that you go through each step, especially the tutorials. Let's start by taking a look at this home screen. We have this stats section that basically summarizes your performance in terms of paper trading on the platform. So our platform allows to paper trade any option position through real-time option prices. So you can practice entering, exiting, different sizing, etc. Right below it, you find these paper trading positions. As you can see here, I have one position that I'm following, as well as the coming up trades that you can set up using our planner that we will see in a minute. And then this live event section where you can see the next events happening. So feel free to jump in on our Discord and join these events and ask any questions that you might have. Now let's take a quick look at the features and what they do. Let's start by this paper trading screen where you can see your positions and other people's positions that are being paper traded on the platform. You also see a leaderboard of the most successful members and the trades they have been doing, as well as a top positions leaderboard. Next, we see this trading planner. So this is basically a tool that allows you to set up your earnings plays for the week in this smart calendar and get notified by email on the specific day. So as you can see, we can choose any stock reporting in the upcoming weeks and then pick what strategy we're interested in playing for the stock. For example, let's put short volatility on the stock right here. And here the advantage is that, as you can see directly, two cards have been added in this planner, one for the entry and one for the exit. So depending on the strategy that you selected. And so basically you can come to this tool and add the stocks that you're interested in after doing your research on the platform and basically find them in your home screen, as well as get notified by email so you don't miss these interesting plays. Now let's dive into more of the core features of our platform. This is an interactive calendar basically showing all upcoming earnings of the next 2 to 3 weeks with a lot of their different stats. You can do different things, for example, filter for the whole week, and then sort the columns as you would like, depending on the strategy that you are looking at. So for example, people who are interested in short volatility, for example, we would look at the stocks with the lowest average move, as we would like to profit from this non-volatile behavior on earnings. And then you get here a section of highlights, the most notable names releasing in the next days. Here you find the IV Rush Radar. This is a very innovative and cutting-edge tool specifically tailored for the IV Rush strategy that happens before earnings. So in a nutshell, this tool basically monitors the current IV as it's growing leading up to earnings, and then basically uses historical modeling to project where it's going. We recommend that you watch the tutorial in detail to learn more about this. The next screen is what we call the Moves Analyzer. This is your comprehensive 360-degree, basically, recap of the volatility dynamics around earnings. So as you can see, we have different stats about how the implied move was compared to different moves on the past earnings days. A lot of statistics about how these moves were behaving and different metrics to keep in mind, like the quantiles here, for example. Then a whole section about comparing how the implied usually behaves versus the actual move, as well as a directional section that analyzes the upward and downward move. So this is very useful for researching strategies like long volatility, short volatility, and in the other tutorials for each strategies, we'll dive more into the numbers and how to use the screen. Next up, we have the simulator. So this is an option simulator that takes into account and models the infamous IV crush that happens on earnings. So basically modeling how IV will be after release for each strike and each expiration. So allowing us to really know where we're getting into, the expectations, the risk reward, etc. Here we have a quick example, as you can see, of an at the money call with the corresponding IV crush, but also a lot of sections about how the position would behave for different scenarios using the past moves that you can get from this moves analyzer we looked at. as well as a likelihood of success and a risk reward section. Again, make sure to watch the tutorial of it here to understand in detail how it works, and also the tutorials of different strategies that show basically how to use these different information in a coherent workflow. Next up, we have the Vol Scanner. This is a scanner for long and short volatility trades on earnings, where you can directly scan for positions like straddles, triangles, inverse butterflies for long volatility, or the short version for the short volatility one. And it basically scans all these positions across all upcoming earnings and shows these statistics and metrics to help you decide what suits you best. Then from here, you can go either to the moves analyzer or to the simulator and dive more into these positions. We also have the Drift Lab. This is a feature really focused on momentum and post-release plays. So what basically happens after the release, you'll find here stocks that have released in the last 2 weeks, as well as the stocks to release in the next week. And basically you can find these short-term as well as long-term breakdowns of their behaviors after the release. And especially the very interesting notion of drift, the post-earnings announcement drift, and how pronounced it can be. It also allows you to find similarities between current reactions and similar reactions that happened in the past, so you can project and know what's most likely to happen by the end of week or longer period after the release is done. And then finally, we have this data picks section. This really is a feature that scans through all the numbers for all upcoming releases and basically selects the best candidates from a data-driven perspective, so purely based on the numbers, and it updates in real time to basically always surface the best opportunities to keep in your radar and to research. Voila, make sure to go through the different items and get more familiar with the tools, and then jump into the tutorials for each strategy to learn how to make the most of these tools.